Good morning, everyone. I'm Stephanie Haney. It is Friday, April 17th. We have made it almost to the end of another week. One more day to get through before we can say we've made it through this week and we are into the weekend. I've got your latest headlines for you from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We will start like we do each morning. I'll take you to the latest numbers from the Ohio Department of Health, which we received at 2 p.m. yesterday. Here is how we currently stand when it comes to COVID-19 coronavirus cases here in the state of Ohio. We currently have 8,414 confirmed positive cases of COVID-19 coronavirus here in the state of Ohio. The total number of deaths is now 389. That's based on the expanded CDC definition of deaths that are most likely COVID-19 coronavirus, in addition to those that are confirmed 100% were tested positive for COVID-19 coronavirus before passing away. The number of people hospitalized is 2,331, and the number of people out of those hospitalized in the intensive care unit is 707 at this time. The median age of people who have tested positive is 54, with the total range being less than 1 to all the way up to 101 years old. And the breakdown between males and females has shifted ever so slightly. 49% of those positive cases are males and 51% are females. If you'd like to follow the trajectory of COVID-19 coronavirus here in the state of Ohio, we do have an article on WKYC.com that breaks that down, the number of confirmed positive cases from every single day from when we had our first confirmed positive case here in the state of Ohio. Just to break it down for you, here's how the change has looked over the past 7 days. When we talk about the fact that we may have reached our peak here in the state of Ohio, with experts saying that we have peaked here in the state of Ohio. From last Saturday to Sunday, there were 354 new cases. From Sunday to Monday, there were 371 more confirmed new cases. From Monday to Tuesday, we saw a slight dip in that number, actually. There were 305 confirmed new cases of COVID-19 coronavirus. Then from Tuesday to Wednesday, we saw an uptick, and there were 511 new cases of COVID-19 coronavirus. And then from Wednesday to Thursday, we saw a slight uptick again as well, from 511 new cases the previous day, and then from Wednesday to Thursday, we saw 623 new cases. We'll be able to see how that pans out for today when we get those new numbers at 2 p.m. Prior to that, there was a stretch of days where the new cases were hovering right around the mid-300s. But in the past 2 days, we have seen a slight uptick in those numbers. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on here. Governor Mike DeWine yesterday had a big announcement saying that he expects to start slowly reopening the economy here in the state of Ohio on May 1st. He said that we are at the beginning of the end of the coronavirus pandemic here in Ohio, and that his team does have plans to begin the very slow reopening of the economy here in our state on May 1st. He did stress that it would be very gradual and that businesses that will open will have to provide safe conditions for employees and customers. That will include keeping in line with those guidelines, that safe physical distancing, at least 6 feet apart. And Dr. Amy Acton has talked about wearing masks in public now being part of what we need to incorporate into our culture as we move forward, potentially for up to the next year, is what she's anticipating there. Here in Ohio, many people have filed for unemployment. There have been 855,000 cases filed, actually, here in the state, but Ohio has paid out only 35% of those cases. Just over 282,000 people have actually received benefits from the state of Ohio. The Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services Director Kim Hall said this, that they are working diligently to work through all of that processing, but at this point in time, if there is a challenge with the claim, they're about 3 to 4 week window to work through all of those. So they are working diligently to get through all of those claims. Keep in mind that we have seen so far more claims than Ohio has seen in the last 2 years. So right now there are 855 unemployment claims here in the state of Ohio. In the U.S., over 5.2 million people have filed for unemployment, and experts estimate that actually 1 in 10 Americans are out of work right now related to COVID-19 coronavirus. So this is definitely an unprecedented magnitude, with many people receiving those stimulus checks this week from the U.S. CARES Act, many people not receiving those stimulus checks. Here in Ohio, they are working to get through those unemployment filings. So if you've not been able to get through, remain diligent and keep filing. They are hoping to get that processing number up for you as soon as possible. Yesterday, President Donald Trump unveiled new guidelines related to reopening of things in the future here. This is a roadmap that he would recommend to governors to open up their own states throughout the country. Keep in mind, the president doesn't have the authority to make these calls on his own. It is up to the local governors and also the directors of the Department of Health, as many of these are public health orders. Here in Ohio, for example, our stay-at-home order is a public health order that was issued by Dr. Amy Acton of the Ohio Department of Health, so just keep that in mind. Trump called this plan a phased and deliberate approach with several phases, including maximum physical distancing, slowly moving into public, gatherings of less than 50 people once we get to a point where that is safe. The CDC does still recommend gatherings of less than 10 at this point. But in the third phase of Trump's plan, it would be a return to things that were closer to how things previously were. But Trump had said to the states, you're going to call your own shots, which is in line with what constitutional experts say about his authority in the matter. And Trump said, we're going to be standing alongside you, referring to his administration in support of the governors as they make these decisions on how and when to reopen the individual economies within each state. Here in Ohio, there is a stabilization fund in Cuyahoga County that is helping small businesses that have been hit by COVID-19, helping those companies stay afloat during this time when things are really questionable for a lot of people, and people are concerned about what's going to happen to the things that they have sunk their lifeblood into, their life savings and those kinds of things. So Cuyahoga County Executive Armand Budich said that small businesses are the lifeblood of our community. They're the lifeblood of our economy. So it sort of works in turn there. People who have sunk everything they have into their own small businesses, those small businesses are what keep our communities together and thriving. So far, that fund has raised more than $4 million, and grants are available for businesses with as many as 20 employees. Loans are available with businesses with 500 employees. The grants go up to $5,000 and the loans are available for up to $50,000. So if you want more information about that, you can check WKYC.com and our WKYC app. This has been your update, your early update for Friday, April 17th. I'm Stephanie Haney. You can catch more on 3 News Connect. That's at noon. That's with Jay Crawford and our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins. You can find that on 3 News on TV. You can also find that on WKYC.com, our WKYC app, Facebook, and YouTube. And then I will be back here at 2 p.m. as soon as we get those updated numbers from the Ohio Department of Health. I'll see you there. I'm Stephanie Haney.